me tell you about the time when I made a mistake as a realtor. Okay, so I'm selling this couple's home and I'm simultaneously helping them buy a home about 10 miles away that's closer to their work and their child's school. And we found their purchase home, their new home first, and got it under contract. Then along come the buyers from Hawaii to buy the home that they're selling. And because they're coming from out of state, they didn't have a washer, dryer, and refrigerator, so they asked for these to convey with the home. My seller said, sure, as long as the washer and dryer and refrigerator come with the new house. So I reach out to the listing agent in an email and I asked him, do the refrigerator, washer, and dryer convey? And he said, yes, all appliances convey. And he even said refrigerator, washer, and dryer in the email. I'm thinking, great. So we go about going under contract and fast forward 30 days later, and we get to the final walkthrough the day before closing, and guess what wasn't in the new house? The washer and dryer. So I immediately called the agent and he said, no, they weren't part of the deal. And I said, yeah, they were. Remember, we talked about this via email, and he goes, I don't remember. So I forwarded him the email. And from that moment on, he ghosted me and never talked to me again. And we're closing the next day. And I reached out to his broker, didn't hear back. And because it was a time-sensitive situation, my folks were now homeless because this one closed. They needed to close and we couldn't really delay this. In fact, it was a Friday. So they couldn't wait through the weekend and it was just gonna be very costly for them to wait. So we ended up closing, but I told them that I would make this right. So I ended up buying them a washer and dryer. And I wasn't about to let them suffer because I didn't have it in the contract. And so what I learned was an email isn't sufficient. Even though the agent agreed, what should have happened is I should have put it in an addendum and had both parties sign it, and then it would have been a binding piece of the contract. So great lesson for me. Now here's the rest of the story, which is really cool. So as I'm selling their house, I'm also selling their neighbor's house around the corner. And before any of this happened, that seller, he had offered to give me his washer and dryer. And I told him I'll pay you for them because they were almost brand new. And so I'm buying his almost brand new washer and dryer for $500. It just so happened that they were almost identical to the ones that my clients were leaving behind in this house. So it worked out great. It could have been a $2,500 mistake and it ended up being only a $500 mistake. So don't make the same mistake I did. Make sure that you get it in writing and then both parties sign it.